Roger and the Claude in the opponent side, they don't really have a very strong early game setup, and they might be able to find a very good steamroll and just kind of propel themselves forward in the later stages of the game, or at the mid stages of the game, a lot faster.
I just want to quickly point out, just a minor humble brag. We talk about the coach of C9 being a Midnight, which is also the coach from the MSC team, but they also have the coach from currently the best region in the world, the assistant coach, which is Rexwin from my region, from Malaysia. We got the bronze medal during SEA Games. Just saying. But yeah, I mean, C9,
okay.
At least coaching staff, they're in good hands for sure, and now is to see how much damage they can do. With this Grok Angela, I don't mind it at all. I mean, you have very decent coverage, but the main thing is to get this Hayabusa ahead. Hayabusa running Warcry, you get a lot of damage once you get on top of someone. Another question is, who do you want to get on top of, right? Roger, not exactly the easiest. Nana with the passive, it's kind of a waste. Claude, hard to catch. So Nicolette has her work cut out for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough to kind of really understand who you really want to go for, but understandably, once you have a good amount of farm, you may actually be able to prioritize the right heroes more than not. As we can see, Nicolette is actually throwing out the shadows, just targeting onto Abby pretty early into the game, both of which Nicolette as well as Abby's HP doesn't seem to be all that well, but Hayabusa immediately makes his way back down to the bottom lane and might potentially want to look for some very thirsty kill down in the bottom lane onto the Claude, since the trade between Panda and Yui Fendi seems to be actually kind of a stalemate.
Yeah, Panda has to take the recall. Well, Nicolette tried to hide in the bush, but it was spotted out by the minion wave. So 2 flickers out from CFU Serendipity. Yui wants to go for an engage, but a bit too fast. I'm gonna try and gank top side, but yeah, Teresa is gonna be fine. No kills will come true, at least not for now.
Yeah, very small little micro plays coming from the side of Jewel, just ensuring that the Nana is just going to be pushed all the way back, just so that the final EXP from the wave doesn't give this Nana level 4. So this would definitely be able to help Cloud9 secure this turtle a lot easier, since the mid laner, which is Nana, gotta have to stay in the middle lane to get himself level 4, or rather herself level 4 a lot longer. In the meantime, Ashley did manage to get a really nice wall charge, collecting down the Moshi Bang, but the Yue did manage to get himself a kill onto Ashley, followed by Jewel. So Tagami just rolling on through and clawing right onto Jewel as well as Ashley, giving CFU a way better start than I originally expected.
Yeah, one of the things that Cloud9 is going to face for the majority of the early phases, that where's the damage, right? Like, they don't really have well, the amount of damage that CFU has, where Nana, Edith, Teresa, Roger, they all hit like a truck. But for Cloud9, you have majority of the damage comes from your Hayabusa. Everyone else is a utility. CXZ Panda needs a lot of time to ramp up. Jewel needs items as well. But if you want burst, you don't really have it, and that's why CFU Serendipity kind of won that team fight and giving Tagami and Yui a 1 kill each.
I think that one of the biggest value that CFU can take in the early stages of the game would be Moshi and Yui's sustainability, right? They are tanky enough to be able to soak in a lot of damage while being very strong bruisers, especially since Yui, she can just soak in all the damage, and once she breaks out of Phylax, all the HP can come back to her almost immediately and pretty effectively as well. So you can't really look down on the power of Edith in this matchup at all. In the meantime, Cloud9, they don't necessarily have heroes that is very sustainable per se. They are durable, sure, when it comes down to Ashley as well as Jewel, but Jewel is all about the shields. It takes time for Jewel to even be able to grab all of these shields away from the members of CFU, but the power of burst is what CFU have got at this point in time. In the meantime, a really good knockout coming from the side of Ashley, while the rest of the team fight coming from CFU is just going to be bursting right out. Ashley all the way in the front. That is going to be one man down from the side of Cloud9 again, as CFU very effectively and very methodically takes one person down.
That's the second death for Ashley. What do we say, right? This team from Cloud9, this composition just does not have damage. We saw the attempted engage, a flicker wild charge hitting on the 2 people, but only Nicolette was able to do damage, and they don't even get Yui Fendi up top. I suppose they could at least take the turret. Turtle did go over to CFU. Cloud9 is very obvious what the idea is going to be or who the damage dealers are. Early to mid, Nicholas Hayabusa. Late game is all going to be the carry. But getting out of this mid to late game is going to get tougher and tougher, especially when these skirmishes are so one-sided.
Since we're looking at about 1,000 goal lead for the side of CFU, as well as them being able to take quite a bit of control in the river, I would believe that CFU should be able to help Tegami just bump up onto the goal and the income, just so that she will be able to get a very good snowball coming into roughly about the 8 minutes mark. But they're gonna have to really kick up a notch a little bit more and try to get a little bit more of these assassination kills, perhaps onto the Angela or perhaps onto the carry. Since Cloud9, yes, when it comes down to lockdown, there is definitely a form of lockdown when it comes down to Ashley's wild charge, but other than that, we don't really have much. We have a late gratification coming from the puppet strings as well as from the side of Esmeralda. But speaking of which, we're just gonna hold on down to the bottom lane as the Molina's gift is just gonna be popped coming from the side of Abby. Cloud9 is pretty happy with just popping the passive, immediately pushes themselves right back onto another fight as Cloud9 unfortunately being completely sandwiched out and Jewel finds herself taken down again. But Nicolette responds all the way to the top lane, managed to bring Yui Fendi down, and this will effectively help Panda unlock herself and being able to bring down the first defense turret in the top lane.
Finally, so much cross-map plays, right? They just saw Nicolette down bottom, getting Nana's passive out, and then suddenly showing up top to kill the Claude. That is great. At least some salvage for Cloud9. They're actually not too far behind, just 900 gold deficit. Third turtle coming up on the bot side for CFU Serendipity. I think Cloud9 might have to consider giving it up unless they can somehow get a good pick, because Tegami is starting to get quite scary, right? 2-0-1 with that war cry on her as well. So those burst damage that this Roger can dish out cannot be underestimated, even with the hard guard.
So with the turtle currently down onto the side, onto the bottom side, CFU have got themselves a pretty good priority on top of that. So they should be able to hold down onto the turtle a little bit longer. Since Cloud9, they don't really have anyone that can kind of hold on to the turtle for an extended period of time, Lord, for an extended period of time in the latest stages of the game. CFU will be able to get themselves in a pretty good spot. As such, they bring Ashley down, as Ashley is a little bit too far away from the main bodies of the side of Cloud9. As such, CFU with the numbers advantage, they're just going to be going all the way in, with Yui Fendi just holding on with the Blazing Duet. They all done a good amount of damage, but for now, we're just going to be focusing on Panda. They effectively managed to bring down the Terizla. So Cloud9, they have the upper hand at this point in time, with Nicolette completely at full health.
That was all Jewel and CXZ Panda duo able to buy time, but most importantly, the carry getting free reign to do damage, and the crowd control! Nicolette getting caught by Yui's onward just as she uses the quad shadows to engage. What timing from this Edith to get that punish, but still Cloud9 getting the remaining tier 1 turrets and just in time for Lord to spawn.
Slowly but surely, Cloud9 is still on the front seat, despite actually losing quite a bit of these kills. As you can see from this from the scoreline, we've got 6 kills for CFU and 2 kills for Cloud9. Yet when it comes down to the income, Cloud9 was actually leading for a short few seconds until now, where CFU has managed to catch up just by a tad bit of a 400. Shy be a 400? That's completely fine in the hands of Cloud9. But the priority of this current turtle is still going to go over to the side of CFU, and it doesn't seem like Cloud9, anyone is ready here. It doesn't seem like Nicolette is anywhere around to actually deal with the Lord. As such, it's a free Lord for the side of CFU.
Yeah, they just give it away. I guess for Cloud9, I mean, they can afford to defend for sure. It's just the first Lord, 9 minutes in, not too big of a deal. Okay, as long as this carry comes online, as long as this carry is well fed, they will be set for that late game.
So completely, all of the members from the side of CFU and Cloud9, they're just huddling up in the middle lane as we do Ashley with a flicker right through in the middle, but it doesn't seem like it didn't manage to do too much. Ashley with the conceal walks away, now just going to be leaving Panda in the front lines, but fortunately Panda walks away, still alive, while CFU is still going to be pushing onto the advantage and really wants a piece of this turret in the front lines. In the meantime, the Ogi Shadow Kill just going to be popped right out. Nicolette no longer have got any elements to work with on an assassination on the sidelines. But now the main thing is for the side of CFU, they got the attention from Cloud9 and bottom lane pushed up pretty darn hard.
Still want to do this. I think they can push the turret. Now the Lord has been slain, so unfortunately for CFU, try as they may, they cannot get through that mid-tier 1. Cloud9 should be able to defend this. Glowing one was purchased by Exia, so some extra damage, some extra healing. Jewel gets gone on, but should be fine as the Esmer is an Esmer after all. So overall, I mean, Cloud9, all things considered, they defended their base quite well. I mean, they did lost the bottom tier 2 thanks to the Lord, but mid-tier 1 still remains. Fight just now was quite eventful, right? The sideways flicker wild charge from Ashley to work with Nicolette were not able to get the kill. The point blank penalty zone missed by Moshi Bang. That could have been a takedown onto CXZ Panda, but that did not happen. So a lot of events that led us up to this stalemate. Cloud9 catching up in terms of net worth, and I dare say, you know, because of all these close calls, Cloud9, they're gonna eventually reach that critical mass, and that's where CFU Serendipity will have to be a bit more careful setting up for the second Lord up on that top side.
CFU definitely showed that they are very eager to fight, and they are bold when it comes down to all of these fights. Very confident, if you ask me. But unfortunately, there have been too much times where Cloud9 managed to outmaneuver CFU when it comes down to the macro gameplay. As you can pretty much see that there is already a total of 3 turrets in the top, bottom, and middle lane combined taken down. So at least when it comes down to taking the river control, Cloud9 definitely have got a way better spot since their middle lane first to defense turret is still standing tall. Cloud9 did a pretty good job keeping that turret up, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even for Serendipity, right? They actually have a pretty decent siege comp. You know, you have the Claude, you have the Roger, but Ashley, despite going down 3 times, has been doing a great job of just sandbagging CFU. Every single time they walk up, you just build a nature's barrier, make sure that you stall out the minion wave. This could be a kill.
Oh, yep, with Ashley popping right out with the wild charge, and now we even got Esmeralda just hoping that we'll be able to follow up on the Moshi Bang, but the rest of CFU, they were ready, very much ready to come into the aid of Moshi Bang and ensure that Terizla is safe and sound.
Also, overall, we're starting to see this carry really hurting. That was your front line, by the way. That was your Terizla, the guy with the body of a Smith, was supposed to be an impenetrable wall and almost went down in a few seconds thanks to this carry's true damage. So this Raw Dance is going to get a bit deadly. Esmeralda Jewel is going to throw her body every single time she has Purified online, but CFU wants the Lord.
They have definitely got a chance to pick up the Lord, but Ashley with the nice little barrier to make sure. Oh, the 3-man wall charge! That's what we want to see! Moshi Bang all the way in the middle of the fight. Wasn't able to do too much when it comes down to the penalty zone. Tegami all the way in the front lines. He's still stripping everyone to shreds while Nicolette deals with Tegami's friends down in the back lines, while Panda throwing all of these spinning light wheels away on the CFU. Cloud9 emerged victorious in that fight.
Yeah, and finally Ashley, with all of her previous wild charge, we say even though they lose the fight, she has been getting some great multi-target wild charge with this Grok, and that one was the perfect one, hitting 3 people at once. You see, CFU, they wanted to retaliate, right? Yui instant response with her own Flicker Earth Shatter to stop this carry, to break that momentum, but Cloud9 was just too strong. CXZ Panda came online with the help of Exia's Hard Guard, absolutely just shredded the front lines of CFU. You look at this STC replay, Ashley, what a read into that push. A 3-man knockup and this carry uncontested. Yu Fendi thought she was strong enough, goes in with a BMI, blazing duet, only to get her life snuffed out in an instant by this carry. 4 for 2 exchange, Cloud9 in full control of the game.
With that all said, Cloud9 now has a total of about 4,000 gold lead on top of CFU. How big of a change a single team fight could just spin over to the side of Cloud9. And with the Lord now running down in the middle lane, preparing to pillage all of CFU and whatever that they hold on dear. As he charges on to the middle lane inhibitor, brings it down almost immediately, while the top lane and the bottom lane are shoved up pretty nicely too. Cloud9 now reserving their energies just a tad little bit, make sure that they do not go and overextend themselves, and all they want is objectives to bring down the top lane inhibitor turret, while Nicolette have got other plans in her mind. Immediately went for the assassination onto Abby. That puts 4-person onto the side of CFU. Cloud9 definitely have got a numbers advantage now. Nicolette is not going to be stopping with all of these assassinations, as you can see. Constantly going in and out of the fight. Very slippery.
Just look at Xayah, she's just hanging back. Watch out for Ashley though, Flicker is back up. So we might see another Flicker wild charge. This could be the final push.
Yes, now we do have the wild charge coming from the side of Ashley. It did manage to do a very good job, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the damage coming from the side of CFU is doing much at all. Tegami went straight in and wanted to end the life of Ashley. Put too much time and resources just for the Grok. Moshi Bang now focuses herself down onto Ashley, but still not quite enough. With only 2 members left, Abi as well, Yuri Fendi. Nicolette brings Abi down, and the rest of Cloud9, they don't have a creep just yet.